take a look at the market today for April 3rd, 2025, and it was all about Liberation Day. At least that was the way President Trump had labeled it yesterday. But the reality is that the market was not happy about these policies. These policies were far more draconian than the market had expected. And simply put, they are extreme. And the market priced that in today. Market was surprised by this. We were surprised by this. The rumor was this was going to be more targeted. It was going to be more reserved. And maybe it will go up over time, but they'll start slow and build from there. That's the impression they tried to give the public. The reality was very different. You had the NASDAQ down 5.4% on the day, S&P down nearly 5% on the day, the Dow only down 4% on the day. And it continues to be driven by the Mag 7. Apple, for once, was one of the worst of the Mag 7, down over 9%. Microsoft was the best. Why? Because, they don't sell as many physical goods as some of the other big tech names. Amazon down 9%. Obviously, they're going to be hit with a lot of products that they sell on their site. You had Tesla down 5%. And it shows you that even though the tariff policies are in many ways protectionist for domestic automakers, this still is not good for a lot of the parts that they import and obviously the damage this is doing to both the Trump brand as well as Elon's brand. So you're seeing that priced into markets. In the finance sector, that was red. Wells Fargo down 9%, Bank of America down 11%, JP Morgan down 7%. So, and then a lot of the private equity companies certainly hurt as well. Really, strength was in consumer durables, healthcare, the telecom companies, et cetera. That's where the strength really lied. And we think that will probably continue for some time. Now, the market's a bit oversold and you could get a bounce, but ultimately the only thing is saving the market right now and saving the economy is the hope that, these are rolled back in some way, shape, or form, not just by the president, but by Congress as well. Remember, Congress is allowing President Trump to put these in place under the guise of some sort of national emergency, which obviously that's a nebulous concept and could easily be shot down by courts, by Congress, etc. So that's really the saving grace here, potentially, that yes, this looks really, really bad, but what is proposed here will ultimately not be implemented. That's at least the hope. And now that's obviously not the base case, but that is a potential outcome. And ultimately, this is going to hit earnings, especially companies that work on slim margins. They import a lot of goods from abroad. And it's not just about China. The Chinese tariffs are above 50%. And now, and that's draconian. That is terrible. And it's going to likely drive a recession. And that's why you saw a lot of these big banks down and companies that deal with the consumer. Consumers will be hurt by this. It is highly regressive, meaning those in the lower income brackets will be hurt the most because they're the ones that are going to feel the price increases of these products most acutely. So that's kind of where we are at, and that's where the market was today. We'll see if we get some follow through tomorrow, or do we get some sort of a bounce driven by maybe some headlines over the weekend or overnight that maybe quells some of the fears around this. But ultimately, you can't sugarcoat this. This is bad for economies, bad for markets. The uncertainty in some ways is behind us. And in many ways, it's still in front of us, right? Because the uncertainty of what the proposed tariffs are gone. That's what we know. But the reality was worse than expected. But there's still that overhang that, this could be changed, reversed, and such. But that would also create more chaos and uncertainty of businesses not knowing exactly how things are going to play out when it comes to costs. And so this just stymies innovation. It stymies the growth of jobs in our country, and it is really economic suicide. So hopefully we come back from the brink, but So far, the first move on the Trump tariffs and Liberation Day is only liberating us from wealth and prosperity. And what you're definitely seeing is money fleeing the United States. And you're seeing that in the US dollar. The dollar was down big today. And that is showing you that usually in these flight to safety, these risk off events where, markets are down significantly, usually it's a flight to the dollar, flight to safety, flight to cash. No, this is foreign investors fleeing US assets, selling the dollar and buying other assets. And that's what's happening in the market today. And this is a major shift in history. And you should remember this day because it likely means the end of economic supremacy here in the United States.